what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man, that kid was a cakewalk.
You know, nothing wrong. Canelo always has had a problem with boxers. He always struggles when he fights a boxer. Anybody knows that if you can box and take a punch, you're gonna give him a hard time. Bud is not one of these guys that's gonna quit.
Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory.
Floyd Mayweather clowned Canelo Alvarez after his defeat to Terence Crawford, claiming Canelo is no longer the fighter he once was, and that people have always overrated his status. Mayweather highlighted that he had faith in Crawford from the beginning, even backing it up with a massive $50K bet that paid off handsomely, as an X account later shared the betting receipt, noting he walked away with a bag. Despite the loss, Canelo carried himself with confidence and composure, acknowledging Crawford's skill and praising him as a great fighter who deserved the win, while making it clear that he is far from finished. He stressed that he feels physically strong and mentally ready for what comes next, even expressing openness to a rematch with Crawford, signaling that his fighting spirit remains alive and that he refuses to back down when his pride and legacy are on the line.
I say to him,
Ryan Garcia reacted to Terence Crawford's dominant win with high praise, tweeting that he actually believes Crawford may be the best fighter of all time, explaining that his performance showcased exceptional skill and mindset worthy of legendary status. Garcia noted that such greatness is rare in boxing history, while veteran trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas broke down the fight by comparing it to Canelo Alvarez's earlier loss against Floyd Mayweather. Atlas argued that Canelo has consistently struggled with faster, sharper fighters due to flaws in his footwork and hand speed, which Crawford once again exposed despite a year of inactivity. Crawford's timing and movement neutralized Canelo's power, much like Mayweather's precision did in the past, leading Atlas to stress that the result highlights Canelo's limitations against elite technical boxers, while also cementing Crawford's growing legacy.
From the beginning, that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course, Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight. It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp. However, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yep.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew it was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up with counters.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes. Vision,
focus.
We know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, just radar. This guy's got infrared.
Interview 3 Sports journalist Ariel Helwani swiftly reported the official decision on social media, confirming what many already sensed, tweeting that Terence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez via unanimous decision with scores of 116-112, 115-113, and 115-113. The close but clear outcome reflected Crawford's superior control and discipline throughout the fight, a performance that solidified his place among boxing's elite and marked a historic victory over one of the sport's most celebrated champions. Teofimo Lopez, known for his boldness in the ring, reacted with admiration, emphasizing that the matchup brought together two of the best fighters in the world and that the right man won. By declaring Crawford worthy of a spot in the top 10 all-time greats, Lopez underscored the magnitude of the win, praising Crawford's style, composure, and execution as qualities that not only defined the night, but also carved his name deeper into boxing history. Such recognition from an active champion further validates the significance of Crawford's triumph and how it resonates within the boxing community.
Of his prime, how can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty. Yeah, it was really good actually.
Yeah.
So it's up to the Jam. He's a Jam. He can do whatever he wants.
What do you think happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
Mentally.
What's up? I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with. I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So
they were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15, easily. You know, there's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks. You know.
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo Alvarez was asked about his experiences facing both Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, and his response quickly drew attention when he openly stated that Crawford impressed him more, particularly in the later championship rounds where control and sharpness are crucial. He emphasized his view by saying, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather," a bold statement that not only praised Crawford's performance but also sparked debate among fans about how the two legends truly compare in boxing history.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
In the aftermath of his loss, speculation about Canelo Alvarez's future began to grow, with his comments and demeanor hinting that retirement could be on his mind, especially as Terence Crawford's victory shifted the boxing spotlight. Many described the fight as one where Crawford schooled Canelo, using superior ring intelligence and adaptability to dominate and claim the belt. A performance already being framed as historic and elevating Crawford into the conversation as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. For Canelo, the defeat raises questions about whether his era at the top has come to an end. While for Crawford, it cements his place as the face of modern boxing.
Was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence Bud Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked do he want a rematch with Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, "It's no need." He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again I told you guys, styles make fights. This style, this particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile. And everybody didn't believe me. They said I was tripping. Canelo was too big. He gonna knock out Terence Crawford, right? He too big, too strong. Terence Crawford get hit. Terence Crawford don't box, don't move. And I told you guys, when Terence Crawford wants to move and wants to box, right, he can. And he would, right? And guess what? Terence Crawford, I told you guys, when he fought the likes of Victor Postol, right? Y'all said that, oh, he don't move that much. I said, did you look at his fight with Victor Postol? Did you look at his fight with Jose Benavidez? Yeah, well, those guys ain't Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it doesn't matter if they're Canelo Alvarez. It's about Terence Crawford's abilities to be able to maneuver around and box in every which manner he so chooses. If he wants to incorporate that style that he boxes and moves, he could. And what did he do tonight? I said Terence Crawford could fight at every level. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said Terence Crawford can fight in mid-range. He can fight on the outside. He can fight on the inside. Canelo Alvarez cannot. Y'all asked me, why aren't you talking about what Canelo Alvarez could do great? And I told you, because we know what Canelo Alvarez is going to do. He's going to fight. He's consistent in who he is and how he fights. Period. I told you guys that.
Boxing legend Andre Ward quickly put Terence Crawford's performance into perspective, describing it as a historic victory and a generational fight that fans will remember for decades. He explained that moments like these define careers and separate great fighters from true legends, praising Crawford's ability to dismantle Canelo while maintaining discipline and composure throughout the rounds. By framing the win as a GOATed moment, Ward essentially elevated Crawford into the conversation of the greatest fighters ever, underlining the gravity of what had just transpired inside the ring.
Terence Crawford, greatness, and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford is a great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
Rising star Keyshawn Davis, who views Terence Crawford as both a mentor and an inspiration, reacted with excitement and pride, calling him one of the GOATs, a title young fighters rarely use unless the performance truly warrants it. Davis praised Crawford's flawless execution of his game plan, noting how he never allowed Canelo to find his rhythm, and emphasized that this fight was not just about a victory, but about proving that greatness stems from skill, intelligence, and hard work. His reaction highlighted how deeply Crawford's triumph resonates with the next generation of fighters who aspire to follow in his footsteps.
What's up, bro? Yes, sir.
What do you think made the difference?
The speed, really.
Yeah.
I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round. So
yeah.
Honestly. But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis gave a brutally honest assessment of the fight, questioning how any judge could have awarded Canelo 5 rounds when Crawford was clearly the more effective fighter throughout. He stressed that Canelo has always struggled against opponents who move well, and once again, Crawford's agility proved to be the decisive factor. Although Lewis admitted he was expecting more explosive exchanges, he acknowledged the technical brilliance on display, noting that Crawford's adaptability effectively neutralized the Mexican champion's offense while exposing the flaws in Canelo's style.
Let me tell you, great fight. I was hoping that there was more action coming from Canelo. You know, I'm used to Canelo fighting that way all the time. He tried his best. He always has trouble against movers. I was really expecting them to be more punches, more movement by Canelo. What can you say?
This reminds me of the point that Jaya Patai made yesterday, and you picked up on it. He said he's coming in with all his belts. Terence looks like he's still hungry, and Canelo looks like he's whining and dining in his success. Do you think that might be the difference tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was a little bit of difference. The cat has got really fat, so he tried his best. I've seen Canelo box about many times, and I thought that this time he just boxed like he always boxes. And then I felt he couldn't really do nothing against Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford was too quick, too elusive. Anybody would find trouble with him, but Canelo couldn't find him.
The scorecards were 2 red, 115, 113. Were they right with the cards?
It was for Canelo to win a round. I say he won about 3 rounds in that fight. I was actually amazed at the way how Terence Crawford moved and never got hit, and threw combinations because that's what you're supposed to do, throw combinations. So he threw combinations. He wasn't trying to knock out Canelo, but he definitely was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of combinations.
Roy Jones Jr., one of the most skilled boxers in history, was stunned by what he witnessed and praised Terence Crawford's victory as a beautiful performance built on skill, patience, and strategy. He noted that Canelo has long struggled against opponents who rely on speed and movement, and Crawford once again exposed that vulnerability, dismantling Canelo's usual approach and leaving him without answers. For Jones, this was not just a win but a complete destruction of Canelo's game plan. A technically brilliant display that left no doubt about who the better fighter was that night.
It's a beautiful performance, exactly what I expected. All I want to see was Creed take a punch. If he take a punch, we knew what was going to happen.
Did you expect him to trade with Canelo like that on the inside?
Yes, we spoke on the airplane going to Dubai.
Yeah.
The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then you started outboxing him and outsmarting with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied his film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. Very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
Did you score it, Roy?
Huh?
Did you score it?
No, I didn't score it. But I think probably something like 8-4.
8-4?
Yep.
What do you think should happen next, Roy?
I have no clue.
Crawford put himself amongst the all-time greats like yourself with that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
5-weight world champion,
Yes.
3-weight undisputed champion.
Yes.
Where are you putting him in the all-time list?
Hard to beat that.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for the next one.